What is going on? I'm Zedmont. We are going to be doing some warships back at the desk. Now, it's April 1st. You're not going to get any ridiculously stupid April Fool's Day jokes out of me because 9 times out of 10 they're hurtful and stupid. So, now that the grump is out of the way, we are at rank 18, clinging on. I had one boss battle for 19, as I think you can probably see if I jump into my old-fashioned thingy-majigger here. Highest rank was 74 out of 80. Just failed the boss battle. Should have won it too. But I'm going to quickly go over my tech tree because tech trees are changing drastically. I have kept some keys there to show you what the next options are. So you see I don't have green mines. Those are likely going to be needed in the next little bit. Also, don't have the GBE node. That is very, very tempting. Bombardiers at tick 4, they might start to be useful in the next little bit as people start to get more and more and more and more defenses. Carrying on, don't get heavies. I had at least one person in the YouTube comment say, hey, I'm going to unlock the fatties. And I said, no. Heavies are not. They're useless. You don't want them until like way down here when you get heavy choppers. So skip the heavies. Those shouldn't even be in the conversation. But troop health, that is the node. So you see I've got the shock blaster here. Skip the shock blaster way back here. Sure, I mean, where the heck is it? It's like even further back maybe. Sorry, I know there is back up there. So there's the shock blaster. Skip that one. Get the one that's after 5 engine rooms. That's the one you want. Had to mute for a sneeze there. So I've seen people with 2 shock blasters, or they go back and get this shock blaster and add the sky shield, but you want the shock blaster here. Sky shield seems appealing, but the shock blaster slows people even more. So at this point, forwards for gunboat energy, backwards for critters, or down here for troop damage. Now, the general consensus is that troop damage is the answer, unless you want to go Seekers. Now, my other account is probably going to go Seekers. This one, I'm going to get the troop damage. The troop damage is going to make rocket choppers with troop damage. It just makes them 400 times better. Now, after that, the next step is likely going to be going back and getting flamethrowers. Flamethrowers, Seekers are coming, my friends. Seekers are 1000% coming, so we're going to need some defenses to block them. Flamethrowers are going to be clutch there, and then possibly shock launchers. I mean, that's a long ways back, but we'll cross that road when we get to it. Let that meta develop a little bit more. That way I can give you all of the info. For now, go get that building health. That building health is a game changer, and skip that shock blaster. Don't get that. You don't want that one, because the sooner you get to building health, the better it does. Getting into 5 engine rooms is massive. Getting that shock blaster is the next step, and then getting that building health, it makes such a big difference. It's crazy what a difference it makes. Now that that's done, my log, not good lately. Not good at all. Just making so many dumb mistakes. So let's see if we can clean this thing up a little bit. I'll show you a couple rocket chopper attacks I've been doing at the 5 engine room level. Had a 15 win streak from like 15, high 15 to 18 or so. Was very, very good. First thing, when we do our scouting over by that shock blaster, you see they don't have building health. That's going to be massive. That shock blaster is also, frankly, in a terrible spot. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to bring one boat of bombardiers. We are going to send all of our rocket choppers something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to flare over into about there, and then we're going to keep all of our rocket choppers as wide as we possibly can. And then we're going to flare right there onto that there thingy-majigger. Gonna drop you there, gonna drop you out there. We're gonna throw a barrage on that. We're gonna throw a barrage on there. And I mean, this base, if we lose to this base, I'm gonna be very sad, because shock blaster touching a cannon, not smart at all. Like, that is just straight up bad. And so far, speaking of bad, my attacks have been bad. But Bombardiers getting that left engine room. We are getting this other engine room. We're going to throw a flare right there, right now, throwing all of our gunboat energy towards there. And generally speaking, if you can get 3 minutes, 5 seconds, if you have building health, you're going to win. That attack was not good on my part at all. Frankly, it was awful. Should be getting more like 3 minutes 15 seconds against a base with no troop health, or building health, sorry. But we pulled out the win. Not a great win. That is not going to keep us in 18. That is not going to get us to 19, but it's a good warm-up for the morning. So I have been mixing in one boat of Bombardier. I find that it works quite well. This person does have the building health, so we're going to need to be a little bit more cautious. Now, one other way to deal with that is just to drop all sorts of your rocket choppers and farm a little bit of gunboat energy, because there's nothing worse than throwing all of your barrages, all of your artilleries, and then seeing that shock blaster right there is still up and kicking. So awful when that happens. It sucks, it's painful, it hurts, but you can combat it just by watching and scouting. And then we're going to drop you about there, then we're going to drop you about there, and now we should be good to go. And notice I'm getting this artillery right here. The reason for that is I don't want our troops to go to the right hand side. Might have wanted to get our bombardiers slightly further to the left, but we should be okay. Now you'll notice that I'm dropping one artillery onto those cannons. It ends up getting your rocket choppers a little bit of time to take those puppies out. Now our bombardiers are heading off to that left. Let's drop one more artillery right there, hoping that we don't lose any rocket choppers to that cannon. Boom, shaka, laka. Again, not a great time. This is not going to be enough, but it seems like our opponent is having a little bit of struggles, so maybe we can pull it away with 252. Going to that far right-hand side and not coming back over that gap is the key, though. You'll see that they went left here. They went around the outside, and that is just not nearly as fast. There are some instances where you can pull that off, but I just haven't been able to consistently go clockwise. Counterclockwise is the answer for me. So hopefully that helps you out a little tiny bit as we get 2 wins, moving slowly but surely up to 18. And it's one of those things where you can be super unhappy with your attacks and still win. And so I can almost guarantee that now that we've got a win streak and we're recording live, we're going to lose here. But I feel like that troop damage is making all of the difference, and possibly I can stop dropping artillery onto cannons because once I get a little bit more troop damage, but don't really want to experiment with that with you guys live on the video. So do consider subscribing. I will give you more details on that. Hopefully you don't need to drop artillery onto cannons. You'll notice that I'm using my gunboat energy on buildings instead of engine rooms for the most part. On my other account that has warriors, oh, so good. No building health. Again, I keep calling it troop health in my head, and it's totally wrong. So we're just going to do the same thing. Farm a little bit of gunboat energy, and then send these dudes off and flying. I was going to say off and running, but getting them over to that far right-hand side, hoping that we can stay out of the range of that shock blaster right there, and then we're going to flare onto that cannon right there. Now you can get rid of a shock blaster with 1 barrage and 2 artillery. I'm sorry, with 1 barrage and 1 artillery, but I find that I fail way more often than I would like to with that. I'm just not getting the luck of the barrage perhaps, but just like this, we're going to be able to pop these dudes, hoping that our bombardiers head off to that left-hand side pretty darn quick, and then we're just going to be throwing this barrage out here willy-nilly, hoping that, yep, bombardiers made that nice left-hand turn, and now we can't throw flares. That's the one thing that drives me absolutely insane, is the ability that we can't throw flares. Sometimes your bombardiers would go, like, start heading off to this right-hand side, going mortar to mortar to mortar, and that's why those buildings are there. But oh, they mixed in warriors. I love, my other account is only warriors, and I've managed to get it into gold almost to 17, but it's amazing how much more gunboat energy you have with warriors. Like, you can barrage so many things, but rocket chop is much easier. So troop damage, hopefully I'm gonna give that the win. Now, critters were so tempting. You might want to consider critters instead of the troop damage, but I think so far that troop damage is doing me pretty darn good. Would really like to get up into rank 19 to open that next chest, which would give me the potential to go back for flamethrowers. Let me know where you are in your tech tree, what you're hoping to do, and which number of engine rooms you're at. I mentioned it in my community post, but 3 engine rooms I did not have a lot of fun at all. 4 engine rooms was in the same sort of boat. It was like the same general attack, and it was frustrating, and there were a bunch of defenses and rocket launchers and shock launchers that didn't really make a difference, but it just made it not fun. Getting into 5 engine rooms made this season a lot more fun. People who are tech riding are far in advance. I've seen a bunch of complaints saying that like early on, people need to lose a little bit with that naked base, and that did not happen this season. People getting into diamond on day 1 was insane. But overall, the most base racy season that probably isn't much of a base race down in here anymore, as people get shock launchers and max cannons and sniper towers. And that's one more quick note, that going back to get shock launchers, you're going to pick up green mines, sniper towers, and shocks. So that shock launcher is very appealing, because sniper towers are going to help against rocket choppas, green mines are going to help against seekers, and I guess sniper towers are going to help against seekers as well. Anyways, that is all for me. I am alive. I am back home, and it is April Fool's Day. Hopefully, it is past noon and people respect that rule where you guys are. Anyways, that is all for me. Do consider, and this is not a joke, throwing code ZMOT way over there in your creator boost. It expires, as you can see there. Mine was about to expire in 1 hour. ZMOT. You'll have to trust me. It's underneath there. Boom. Shaka. Laka, I shall talk to you soon. As always, thanks for coming in. Hit me up in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and all of those YouTube details. The tribes are bananas right now. 50% barrage cheaperness. 50% gunboat energy. So much fun to be had. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm ZMOT. Peace.